What's up, guys? Welcome to the final round. I'm your host, Isaiah, and today we're going to be breaking down UFC Noche happening this weekend, September 13th, in San Antonio, Texas. Perfect way to celebrate Mexican Independence Day in America, in a main event, with two Brazilians. Couldn't be better. But yeah, we'll talk about that as we get going. But before we get going, I'm just going to say make sure to like, subscribe, and comment on the video. Anything is appreciated. Just helps get the channel out there. So let's get right into the breakdown. First fight of the night, we got Rodrigo Cezinando versus Daniel Doncheca. I have Doncheca to win this fight. I didn't watch the Ultimate Fighter season. I had to go back and watch the fights. And from what I've seen, Doncheca looks like the better fighter, more well-rounded. Just is more alive to win this fight. And while Rodrigo Cezinando is good, it's just Daniel just looks, you know, more well-rounded and able to get the victory anywhere it goes. So I'm going to be picking Daniel Donchenko. Montserrat Rendon versus Alice Pereira. And don't get it confused, this is not Alex Pereira's sister. That's Aline Pereira. This is Alice Pereira, and she is 19 years old, very young, um, and very green, very new to the game. And Montserrat, coming off that loss to Daria Zelenjakova, um, she's all right. She's more well-rounded, very durable. I'm pretty sure all her fights, which is not a lot, only seven, all of them have gone to a decision, so she can drag it to a decision, be durable enough to survive it. So against someone as green as Alice Pereira, it's very weird matchup. They got at least as a minus 205 favorite. Um, I'm going to lean Alice Pereira to win by TKO, but this is women's MMA. It's a wild anything can happen. And Montserrat has kind of proven to be a durable fighter and can go the distance. So if Alice cannot get her out of there early, I can see Montserrat, getting in close, getting it to the ground, and then taking the victory, taking the win by decision. But we'll see. We'll see. My pick's going to be Alice Pereira. Moving on, we got Alessandro Costa versus Alden Correa. Alden making his UFC debut. I'm going to pick Alessandro Costa. Um, he's just more proven to be able to win at the UFC. We've seen him able to win at the UFC. He's fought some really good guys in the UFC. I mean, Arbazi, Steve Erceg, Kevin Boras. He just beat the shit out of Kevin Boras like a year ago. Hold on. Sorry. Costa just fought more better fighters, and while he is a good finisher, compare their opponents who they fought. Alessandro has fought the better, 10 times better opponents than Alden Correa. So I'm going to be picking Alessandro Costa to win by probably decision. Yeah, I got Costa. Zachary Reese versus Cedricus Dumas. I'm picking Zachary Reese to win this fight. I have ragged on Cedricus Dumas a whole bunch, but ragged on him for 317 when he had to pull out because he couldn't get his ankle monitor off. He hit in the cop from a fucking in a dog cage. His words exactly. And he just posted a picture saying he has exactly $13 in his bank account with the caption saying something like, "This is the choices that I gotta deal with and all that stuff. Not easy being an adult because he's notoriously been arrested a whole bunch." And I look at him when he fights against in his last fight against McCall or Jacek, he just looked like he didn't want to be there. Against McCall or Jacek, he kind of shelled up. Anytime he got hit, he looked like he just didn't want to be there, wanted to get out of there. And I don't know, based off that I can't choose him. I can never choose Sergio Dumas to win a fight in the UFC, even though he has beaten Dennis Tululin, fucking, and Cody Brundage, and then Abu Azaitar. He's an alright fighter, but I don't think he's anything good. His striking's not there, and his grappling's not there. And Zach Reese, he's found some decent competition. He just beat Dusko Todorovic, got knocked out by Azamat Bukoyev, but he's beat KO Julian Marquez and decision Jose Daniel. But I think Zachary Reese is more alive to win this fight. He's a better fighter, has a better skills than Rodriguez, and I don't think Rodriguez is as focused as he needs to be. He's going to be working hard for a paycheck because he needs it, and he might go hard the first round, but I think Zach Reese can weather it. I think Zach Reese is getting the dub. Jesus Aguilar versus Luis Gurule. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. I'm going to be choosing Gurule to win this fight. His debut fight was against Ode Osborne on short notice, and he just got Ode as a first fight in the UFC. That's a tough fight, dude, for anybody if you're a debuting fighter. Ode Osborne is a tough test for a debuting fighter. So he didn't go his way. He did have some good moments in the fight, but he's going against Jesus Aguilar, not the best fighter. Has wins over his last three wins are Mateus Mendonca, Stuart Nickel, and Shannon Ross. All three probably have all been cut from the UFC at this point, and not good at all. His loss Tyra has aged well, but his last loss 6 months ago was against Rafael Estevam. I think Luis is just more polished than Jesus, and he's going to be a bit more motivated to come in here and get the win. Um, it is Mexican Independence Day, so Jesus being Mexican, it really begs to differ. Is that going to motivate him enough to get the win? But I don't think this will be like last week with France, where the France went like 5-0. I think I think Jesus is losing, and I think it's probably going to be by decision. I think it's going to be by decision. Maybe split decision, but my pick is Luis Gurule. Tatiana Suarez versus Amanda Lemos. I am picking. I gotta pick not Amanda. Tatiana Suarez. She's coming off that loss in her championship fight to Zhang Weili, where she looked good to start, but just overestimated how good Weili was on the ground, and it cost her in that fight, and she just got outworked for the entirety of the fight in every area of the game. But she trying to be more active. Before that, her last win was 2 years ago against Jessica Andrade, so was not the best look. Um, but this is her first fight. Her, this is the first time she's having two fights in a year in a very long time, and I think it's going to work out for her because she's fighting Amanda Lemos, who's coming off that win to Yasmin Lucinda, where the age and the experience just got out of the win. Yasmin just didn't really do anything, and Amanda just did a bit more, just did enough that got her the win. Very boring fight, but on the ground, Amanda Lemos really is kind of like a fish out of water. She doesn't have much off her back, and I think we've seen that in her championship fight against John Whaley and then her last loss to Verna Jandiroba. And I think if Tatiana can get this to the ground, she's just going to maul her, either with elbows or just submit her. So I think Tatiana Suarez is worth the minus 425 odds. Definitely not bettable. But I think she goes out there and gets the win by submission in like round two. So Tatiana Suarez, round two submission. Ho, ho, ho. Claudia Puelles versus Joaquim Silva. I am going to be choosing what. Mm, It's a hard one because Quade Paley is a jiu-jitsu nerd, and I don't think he's good at all. He coming off two losses to Fareed Ziam and Dan Hooker. Not the most active fighter either. It's hard because both these guys aren't good. I'm sorry, but they're not. I mean, you look at Joaquin Silva, his last five fights, he's lost to Ricky Glenn, Armin Sarukian, and Drakkar Close. And he's only beaten Jesse Ronson, who the fuck is that, and Clay Guida, who's now basically retired and a veteran old man. So you really can't count that as much. So he hasn't really beat anyone of worth in his last five fights. You look at Claudio, Claudio Puelles. Fuck, his last win is Clay Guida. God damn it, dude. Who do I pick? Fuck, I'm picking Joaquin Silva. I do not like Claudio Puelles. He has not shown anything in the striking, and he just tries to get to the ground, gets a knee bar. Very boring. And yeah, the Prince of Peru, I think, is going to get knocked out, or either knocked out or boring decision. But my pick is going to be Joaquin Silva. I think he's just going to be able to do more on the feet and just keep it off the ground because I think he is a black belt in BJJ. So, yeah, I think he's going to do well in this fight. So, my pick is Joaquim Silva. Jose Daniel Medina versus Dusko Todorovic. I'm going to be choosing Dusko Todorovic solely because Jose Daniel Medina has done absolutely fucking nothing in the UFC. He loses his contender series fight, and Dana's like, "Oh, you're tough. I like you. Let me sign you." Then he gets signed. His debut fight, he loses, and he's like, "Oh, he's stuffed. Give him another fight." And then he gets fucking killed by a Teba Gautier. So he's been given no favors in the UFC, and he does not have the skills to be in the UFC. We saw in the contender series fight, and we saw in his last two fights. And Dusko Todorovic is someone who's been able to win in the UFC. Well, his last win is Jordan Wright, which was 2 years ago, almost 3 years ago. And he is riding a not five, three fight losing streak. I think he does enough, and I think he's more well rounded, and he is more proven to win in the UFC. So I think Dusko Todorovic gets this fight done. Um, Jose Medina is just adorable guy. I haven't really seen any real skills from him. They, tell me that he's gonna win a fight other than on the regionals. So my pick is gonna be Dusko Todorovic, but it's definitely gonna be a fight I'm going to avoid on the betting line just because both guys are shit. Both guys. All right. Alexander Hernandez versus Diego Ferreira. What the hell? I think I got this. I got this. Yeah, this is on the main card, I think. Yeah. I'm going to be choosing Alexander Hernandez to win this fight. He is coming off that knockout win 3 weeks ago. Going to be 4 weeks come fight time against Chase Hooper. He is riding a four-fight winning streak in the lightweight division. Um, while it is say 3 wins. But he's taking on Diego Ferreira, who's very old, 40 years old, has not won yet at 40 years old. Um, Kind of just on the back end of his career, good enough to keep it off the ground and kind of just like a 1-2 power shot kind of guy on the feet. So I think at the way he's been looking, at the way he's been moving, I think Alexander Hernandez can do enough to get this victory. And I don't think he finishes Diego. I think Diego's a bit too durable even at his old age. And Alexander, while he did knock out Chase Hooper last time, is not known for being a power guy. Not really. So I'm going to be picking Alexander Hernandez to get this fight done. And I'm going to take take a big guess, and I'm going to say this fight is going to be a split decision for Alexander Hernandez. Santiago Luna versus Kwang Lee. I'm choosing Kwang Lee to win this fight. I like Kwang Lee. Uh, he's an exciting guy. He does have two losses to Chris Gutierrez, and he got knocked out by Long Zhao. That one hasn't aged well, neither have the Chris Gutierrez one. But he's coming off a submission win to Gaston Bolanos, which was very impressive. But he's taking on debuting Santiago Luna, who in the last 5 fights has not seen a decision. So he's hunting for the finish every one of his fights. But the odds are so even. I'm picking Kwang Lee to win this fight. I'm riding the Kwang Lee train. He's entertaining. I like him. And I don't think anyone. We've kind of seen lately that debuting fighters don't do so well. And I think it's going to continue. So, Kwang Lee, gonna get this fight by submission. I'm gonna say submission. Kelvin Gastelum versus Dustin Stoltzfus. I'm going to be choosing. It's a hard one to choose because it all is dependent on which Kelvin shows up. In recent weeks, I have seen pictures where he does look like he's slimmed down a bit, but we'll see come weigh-in time. He has missed weight a bit. But he's taking on Dustin Stoltzfus, who isn't exactly the best fighter. Um, and he's coming off. Both have the same last type of 5 fights. Um, with Calvin beating the better fighters. I think if Calvin shows up and he still wants to fight and you still get victories, he's gonna win this fight, 100%. But we never know with Calvin Gastelum. He is durable. He is coming off that loss to Joe Pyfer where he did get hurt, but he recovered well. It was at UFC 316, which me and Jake were there. It was a fucking terrible fight though, but I think he's gonna continue his little streak he's going off. Like loss win loss win loss. He's due for a win. I think Calvin Gastelum wins this fight, and Dustin Stoltzfus really not anything too good. So Calvin Gastelum's a pick. Rafa Garcia versus Jared Gordon. I'm going to be choosing Jared Gordon to win this fight. Jared Gordon actually is kind of a pretty good fighter. Um, he does have a lot of weird losses. That split decision loss to Nasrat Haqparast, where people thought he could have won that fight, and then he got screwed in the King Green fight where he got hit in the head with Bobby Green's head, and then the Patty loss, he won. He won that fight. So, um, he is better than his record suggests. And Rafael Garcia coming off his win to Vince Michelle just kind of looks slow and really didn't win against Vince Michelle. Is kind of a gift. Um, and while he is fighting in Mexico City, I mean in Mexico, not what the fuck am I? Sorry, my brain's not working. Long day. While he is fighting on Noche, Mexican Independence Day, I don't think he gets the victory. I think Jared Gordon is more well-rounded and his striking is more, dynamic, more fluid, and I think he gets the victory. Coming up, he has looked pretty good. A KO over um, Mark Madsen and Thiago Moises, so he's looking good, and I think he's putting it together even at 37. So I think Jared Gordon goes in there, and while I don't think he uh, finishes Rafa Garcia, if he does finish him, it's going to be a late TKO. He probably gets a big win by decision, but Don't bet on this fight because he's been screwed a couple of times, and on Mexican Independence Day Noche against a Mexican, he could get screwed again if this is close or goes to a decision. So I'm picking Jared Gordon with this fight, but you never know how these judges are gonna be scoring it. Rob Font versus David Martinez. I'm going to be choosing straight cheese and dog. Rob, no, I'm just kidding. I'm choosing David Martinez to win this fight. I think what we've seen from Rob Font lately, even though he's riding a two-fight win streak, he did not win that John Matsumoto fight. In my opinion, he lost that fight. He lost it. He did a fake glove touch and then capitalized on it and then cut John Matsumoto open, which I think got him the fight. That cut. It was a very close fight, and I thought John won. And before that, he has a win over Kyle Phillips. And Kyle Phillips has been shown to not be the best. And he's got a loss to Corey Sandhagen and then Devson Figueredo. So it's hard. It's a hard one to choose because he's durable and he is weathered. He's more experienced. He's 38 years old. He's fought the best of the some of the best in this bantamweight division. But I think he's slowing down. His jab isn't there anymore. His more fluid boxing really isn't there since he's kind of. I don't know if he's consistently training at New England Cartel. I think he went to TriStar with Calvin Qatar, and we've seen his style shift a bit. He's not that like boxing heavy type of guy, and I think against a very fast guy in David Martinez, I think David Martinez is gonna pull off the upset, and I think he's gonna get the victory. I don't know how he's gonna get it done, but I see a path that David Martinez goes in there. Just he will get hit a bit, and he will get maybe cut a bit, but I think he weathers it, eats it all, and then probably gets robbed to the ground and maybe submits him. No way, he's more of a striker. What am I talking about? I just think he's gonna be more faster than Rob. I think Rob's not gonna be uncomfortable with it. And if you see Rob starting to shoot takedowns, David Martinez is about to win because Rob's uncomfortable on the feet, and once he's uncomfortable on the feet, he will shoot, and he's not good on the ground compared to these younger guys, and he will get exposed. So I'm picking David Martinez to win this fight, and I think he pulls off the upset. I think he finishes Rob Font. And honestly, I think this fight is smelling like fight of the night potential right now. I think this is fight of the night right here. But we'll see. We'll move on to the main event in Diego Lopes versus Jean Silva. Mexican Independence Day headlined by two Brazilians. While Diego is, living in Mexico and fighting out of Mexico right now, trading Mexican fighters, he's from Brazil, and well, I do like Diego. I do like him. He's very good. I do think he loses this fight, and I know people are writing off the fight nerds. They haven't been doing too well recently. Last week, both Mauricio Rufy got exposed. Kyle Barallo just got outworked, and people have written them off. But I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I've always thought that John Silva and Kyle Barallo were the better of the fighting nerds, the two best fighting nerds from the original four. I like Carlos and like Rufy, but they're very stand up based. They're not. We haven't seen the ground game, and from what we've seen, they very much lack the ground game, and it's cost them their fights. But and Kyle didn't lose because of the wrestling. I think the double weight cut affected him, and I think the Imov was just the better fighter. I picked Imov to win that fight anyway. So, but John Silva, I think, has the most potential out of all of them. He's a bully in this division, and I think um, his wrestling will hold up especially against Diego, because Diego is nasty on the ground, but he doesn't initialize it. He doesn't go for a takedown. He doesn't try to get the fight to the ground. So that'll cost him. And I think he just has a lot of looping strikes. And John Silva is going to see that. And then also has his tick where he's got his stance, does that, because he's got the little scar there. If John Silva sees that multiple times, he's going to time it. And he's going to unload a shot. And he's going to fucking hurt Diego. And I just think John Silva has most potential out of the fighters to get to a title shot and maybe win a title. And dude, I'm gonna tell you that right now. With I know people say Mosvar has deserved a shot for Volk, and now people are saying Lerone Murphy deserves a shot for Volk. If John Silva goes out here and finishes Diego Lopes and does it convincingly, dude, 100% he's fighting Volk next. And then Lerone and Mosvar will fight each other for a true number one contender position. Because while they could deserve a title shot, they haven't beaten a top contender yet. Lerone Murphy knocked out unranked debuting fighter Aaron Pico, and then Mosvar fought Aljamain Sterling. Aljamain Sterling, and he's more deserving for a title shot than Mosvar, but he got injured and he pulled out. So John Silva goes in there and knocks out number 2 ranked featherweight Diego Lopes, who's coming off a title shot loss. John Silva will get the win, and we'll get the title. We'll get the next title shot, I guarantee you. And it will be in December, and he will fight Volk. I guarantee you that will happen. But while Diego is very good, I do think he will have some success in this fight. I think John Silva is just too good, much better than him, more well-rounded. I think the way he handled Bryce Mitchell, defending the takedowns and submitting him, who does that? He beat Bryce Mitchell better than Ilya Topuria beat Bryce Mitchell. All right, John Silva is just imbued with championship aura right now. And I think one last thing I'll say. People have said the fighting nerds are very similar to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Kyle being Leonardo, Rufy being Donatello, Carlos being Raph, and then John Silva being Michelangelo. And it kind of fits the last Ronin storyline they did where Michelangelo is the last living one, and now John Silva is the last undefeated fighting nerd. So, hey, dude, we're going to see. We're going to see. It's going to be a good fight. I think Diego's going to have some success and he's going to do well, but I think John Silva is just, he's going to find his mark. And I don't know if he finished Diego. Diego's a pretty durable fucking guy. So we'll see. But my pick's going to be John Silva, and I think he can get this fight done by finish, like a late finish. So should be good. And me and Jay will be doing a fight companion for this live stream. Pay attention to that. And then we're also going to be doing a fight companion for Crawford. Canelo versus Crawford. Sorry, brain's not working. But yeah. But pay attention to any future breakdown videos I'll be making for all these upcoming cards. Next week, there's no fight. So in 2 weeks, we have UFC Perth, Oleg versus Reyes, and then we have UFC 320 Ankalaev versus Pereira 2, Zavala versus Sandhagen, and all the other fights. I am working on the promo video for UFC 320. I've almost got it there. Just working on a few other things. And then UFC 322, Della Maddalena versus Makhachev will be there, and Della Maddalena will fucking get this done. He's gonna beat Islam in MSG, and I'm gonna see it. Oh! But that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you all for watching. Like the video, drop a comment, share, subscribe. Anything's appreciated. And remember, all greatest fighters leave it all in the final round. Peace.